Welcome to Numismatic Vault, the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasures waiting to be found. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable Washington quarters. Some of these coins are worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and the best part, they could be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. Top 1 today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most iconic coins ever released in the United States, the Washington quarter dollar with the dual date 1776 to 1976. This special edition coin was struck to celebrate the 200th anniversary of America's independence, and it remains one of the most fascinating coins for collectors around the world. Stay tuned until the end, because you won't believe how much one of these rare quarters can be worth today. Let's begin with the background. In the mid-1970s, the United States Mint prepared for the bicentennial celebration of American independence. To honor this moment, the Mint redesigned the quarter, half-dollar, and $1 coins with special reverse designs. For the quarter, the obverse still carried the familiar portrait of George Washington, first introduced in 1932. But the reverse design was something completely new. Instead of the traditional eagle, the coin featured a colonial drummer standing proudly, with a torch of victory and 13 stars surrounding him. This imagery perfectly captured the revolutionary spirit of 1776 and made the coin stand out immediately. Now, what makes this quarter so interesting for collectors is not just its patriotic design, but also the fact that it was minted in such massive numbers. Millions upon millions were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Most of them ended up in circulation, rattling around in pockets and cash registers, and over the years they picked up scratches and heavy wear. Because of this, finding one in truly pristine, uncirculated condition can be much harder than you might think. The San Francisco Mint also struck special proof versions for collectors, and some of these were even made with 40% silver. Those silver bicentennial quarters are especially desirable today, because they were produced in smaller numbers and they showcase the design in beautiful sharp detail. The brilliant luster of a silver-proof quarter is something every collector admires, but the real treasure lies in the rare errors and varieties. During the minting process, small mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Some bicentennial quarters were struck on the wrong metal planchets, meaning they were made using blanks meant for other coins. Others display dramatic double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, especially in the date or the lettering. There are also off-center strikes and other unusual variations that make these coins highly sought after. These rare mistakes are like hidden gems, and collectors are willing to pay huge premiums to own them. What makes this coin even more exciting is the connection to American history. Holding one of these bicentennial quarters is like holding a tiny piece of the revolution in your hand. It reminds us of the courage and sacrifice of the founding generation and of the celebration 200 years later when the nation honored its heritage. For many collectors, the sentimental value is just as important as the monetary one. That combination of history, beauty, and rarity is what keeps the bicentennial quarter at the top of so many collector wish lists. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated bicentennial quarters you find in change are still worth just face value, or perhaps a little more if they are in good condition. But when you step into the world of high-grade uncirculated coins, silver proofs, and rare errors, the story changes completely. Some coins certified by grading services in the highest condition have achieved staggering prices at auction. The rarest varieties, combined with pristine condition, can reach sums that most people would never expect for a single quarter. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the record value. Believe it or not, one of these Washington quarter dollars with the dual date 1776 to 1976 has sold for an astounding $83,000. So check your pocket change, search through your old coin jars, and don't overlook these fascinating pieces of history. You never know, you might be holding a fortune in your hand. Top 2, we are diving deep into a very special coin that often slips under the radar, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1967. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary quarter, but behind this coin lies a story of history, change, and hidden value that collectors today are chasing. Stay with me until the very end, because you'll be surprised at how much one of these rare quarters can actually be worth. Let's begin with the time period. The year 1967 was a turning point for American coinage. Just 2 years earlier, the mint had removed silver from quarters, moving instead to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change was made because silver had become too expensive, and the government feared people would hoard coins for their metal value. By 1967, the mint was still adjusting to this new era of clad coinage, and as a result, production methods and quality control were not always perfect. That's exactly why error coins from this year are so important to collectors. The design of the coin remained the same. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, modeled after Jean-Antoine Houdon's famous bust, while the reverse shows the proud eagle with wings spread wide. Even though the design had not changed, the circumstances around its production made the 1967 quarter a unique piece of history. Now, what makes this coin truly exciting for collectors are the rare mistakes that happened during minting. For example, some 1967 quarters display dramatic double-die obverse errors, where the lettering in Liberty or the motto, "In God We Trust," appears doubled to the naked eye. Others have been struck off-center, leaving a portion of the design cut off and blank metal exposed. There are even instances of quarters being struck on the wrong metal planchets, including nickel or dime blanks, which creates a coin that looks slightly off in size or weight. Each of these errors transforms a common quarter into a remarkable collectible. Condition is another key factor. Most quarters from this year circulated heavily, passing through countless hands and vending machines, leaving them scratched and worn. Finding a pristine, uncirculated example is no easy task. Collectors pay a premium for coins that have sharp details, full luster, and no signs of wear. The highest grades, certified by professional grading services, are the ones that bring the most impressive prices at auctions. Another reason 1967 quarters stand out is because of the lack of mint marks. In that year, the mint suspended the use of mint marks to discourage coin hoarding. That means whether a coin came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, none of them show a mint mark. This unusual decision makes the 1967 series distinctive in U.S. numismatic history and adds another layer of collector interest. The thrill of hunting for these coins comes from knowing that one small error or one perfectly preserved example could change the entire value. Most of these quarters are still worth only face value if worn, but a rare error or an exceptionally high-grade specimen can sell for unbelievable sums. Collectors know that the combination of historical importance, rarity of condition, and unique mistakes make the 1967 Washington quarter one of the most exciting coins from the clad era. And now we come to the highlight of this story, the price that will make every coin enthusiast's heart race. Believe it or not, one of these rare Washington quarter dollars from 1967 has been sold for an extraordinary $80,000. So next time you come across a jar of old change or a box of forgotten coins, keep an eye out for that 1967 quarter. It might just be more than pocket change. It could be a piece of history worth a small fortune. Top 3. We're exploring a fascinating piece of American coinage that might just be hiding in your change drawer, the Washington quarter dollar from 1974. At first glance, it may look like any other quarter, but when we peel back the layers of history, design, and rare errors, you'll see why collectors are keeping a sharp eye out for this coin. And make sure you stick with me until the very end, because the value one of these rare quarters reached at auction will absolutely surprise you. Let's set the stage. The year 1974 was a turbulent one in America. It was the final full year of President Richard Nixon's time in office, and the country was grappling with economic difficulties, inflation, and political scandal. Against this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued its steady production of Washington quarters, striking hundreds of millions of them for circulation. The composition remained copper-nickel clad, a change that had begun in 1965 when silver was permanently removed from circulating quarters. Because of these huge mintages, most people assume that every 1974 quarter is common. But as collectors know, there are always hidden gems. The obverse design featured the classic portrait of George Washington, created by John Flanagan in 1932. On the reverse, the iconic heraldic eagle remained, perched proudly with wings spread and a bundle of arrows in its talons. While the design itself had not changed in decades, it is the minting anomalies from this year that make certain examples incredibly rare and valuable. One of the most sought-after features is the double die error. On some 1974 quarters, careful collectors have spotted doubling on the motto, "In God We Trust," on the word "Liberty," and even in the date itself. These doubling effects were caused by imperfections during the die-making process, and they transform an ordinary coin into a highly collectible variety. Another major point of interest is off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing and blank metal is visible. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Perhaps the most thrilling discovery comes in the form of transitional or wrong planchet errors. In rare cases, coins were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or nickels, leading to unusual weight and size differences. Even more exciting are the examples mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets, which were supposed to have been completely phased out years earlier. These rare transitional errors are considered treasures of American coinage and command astonishing prices in the collector market. Condition also plays a massive role. Millions of these coins entered circulation, clinking through cash registers, vending machines, and pockets across the country. Most are scratched, worn, and ordinary. But those that manage to survive in pristine condition, with sharp details and brilliant mint luster, are the coins that grading services recognize at the highest levels. A top-graded 1974 quarter can turn into a collector's dream piece, while average circulated examples will only ever be worth their face value. Another detail worth noting is the mint mark placement. Quarters from Philadelphia carried no mint mark, while those struck in Denver or San Francisco were marked with their respective letters. Proof sets from San Francisco, struck with mirror-like surfaces and crisp details, are also prized today, particularly when preserved perfectly in their original cases. For collectors, the joy comes from the chase, examining every coin, searching for that doubling, that off-center strike, or that unusual weight that signals a wrong planchet error. The thrill of the hunt makes the 1974 Washington quarter an enduring favorite, even though the majority may seem common. The rare survivors tell us that sometimes a small mistake at the mint can create a legacy worth far more than pocket change. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. While most 1974 quarters are still worth only 25 cents, one remarkable example, preserved in flawless condition and prized for its rarity, stunned collectors when it sold for an incredible $77,000. So the next time you come across a 1974 quarter, take a closer look. What might appear ordinary could actually be extraordinary. Top 4 were shining the spotlight on a coin that many people overlook but collectors know has hidden potential, the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1979. At first glance, this coin may look like just another piece of change, the kind you might toss into a parking meter. But as we'll uncover in this video, the 1979 quarter carries with it fascinating stories, hidden errors, and a chance at incredible value that could turn a simple coin into a collector's jackpot. Stick around until the end, because the price one of these rare examples sold for will absolutely astonish you. Let's start with the time period. The late 1970s was an era of change in America. Inflation was high, the economy was struggling, and yet the U.S. Mint continued its duty of supplying billions of coins for circulation. In 1979 alone, the Mint struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities. To the everyday person, they were nothing more than pocket change. But to coin collectors, details matter, and it's those details that make this year's quarter so intriguing. The design of the coin remained the classic Washington portrait on the obverse, created by John Flanagan in 1932, while the reverse still featured the proud heraldic eagle clutching arrows and olive branches. But beneath this familiar artwork lies the possibility of extraordinary rarity. One of the biggest reasons collectors chase 1979 quarters is because of the minting errors. Double die varieties are among the most sought after. On some coins, you can see doubling in the inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," giving the letters a shadow-like effect. These are not just minor imperfections, they are dramatic reminders of how even advanced minting processes can produce remarkable mistakes. Off-center strikes are another exciting variety. Imagine a quarter where part of the design is shifted off the planchet, leaving a crescent of blank space. The more off-center, the more collectors are willing to pay. Then there are broad strikes, coins without proper collars during minting, causing the edges to spread unnaturally. Each of these rare occurrences transforms an ordinary 1979 quarter into a prize worth far more than 25 cents. One of the most fascinating aspects comes from wrong planchet errors. Every so often, a quarter was struck on a blank meant for another denomination, such as a nickel or even a Susan B. Anthony dollar, which also debuted in 1979. These incredible blunders create coins that simply should not exist, and when discovered, they become highly coveted among serious collectors. Condition, of course, plays a massive role in determining value. The vast majority of 1979 quarters spent years rattling in pockets, getting worn in vending machines, or being tossed into change jars. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is far from easy. Coins that display full mint luster, sharp strike details, and absolutely no wear are the ones that grading services certify at the highest levels, and those are the quarters that bring serious money at auctions. Proof coins from San Francisco, struck with mirror-like fields and frosted designs, also carry strong collector interest, especially when perfectly preserved. What makes this coin particularly exciting for collectors is the thrill of discovery. Most people would never stop to examine an ordinary-looking 1979 quarter. But those who take the time to check for errors, varieties, or exceptional condition may find themselves holding a hidden treasure. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable pieces of history are sitting unnoticed right in front of us, and now we reach the moment you've been waiting for, the record value that proves just how extraordinary this coin can be. While most 1979 quarters are still only worth face value, one remarkable example in exceptional condition with rare qualities stunned the coin world when it sold for an incredible $75,000. So the next time you sort through your spare change, don't underestimate that quarter from 1979. Take a closer look, because you never know if you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Top 5. We're diving into a coin from the mid-80s that most people pass by without a second glance, the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1985. It might seem like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket change, but hidden among the millions minted are examples that have stunned collectors with their rarity, striking errors, and shocking values. Stay with me until the very end, because one of these coins has sold for a price that will leave you speechless. Let's start with the background. By 1985, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for over 50 years. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the design by John Flanagan became a true icon of American coinage. On the obverse, Washington's profile is bold and familiar, while the reverse shows the proud heraldic eagle, wings spread with arrows and olive branches in its talons. It's a design that represented stability, strength, and tradition, but what makes the 1985 quarter so intriguing is not the design itself, but the circumstances of its production. These quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints in enormous numbers, hundreds of millions were produced. With such high mintages, most people assume that every coin from this year is common. But as collectors know, when you examine coins closely, hidden treasures appear. The first type of rarity lies in errors. During minting, small mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. On some 1985 quarters, dramatic double die errors have been discovered. These can be seen in the lettering of "In God We Trust" or the word "Liberty," where the letters appear doubled. There are also examples of quarters struck off-center, leaving part of the design shifted and part of the planchet blank. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. Another rare category is coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a quarter that was accidentally minted on a nickel or dime blank. Suddenly the size, weight, and even the rim look unusual. These mistakes, though rare, are among the most prized by serious collectors. There are also broad strikes, missing clad layers that reveal a copper core, and other striking anomalies that make the 1985 quarter a standout in the error coin world. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. Most quarters from this year circulated heavily, passing through countless hands, vending machines, and cash registers, which left them worn and scratched. High-grade examples with sharp details and brilliant mint luster are far scarcer than many realize. Coins graded at the very highest levels by professional services can command staggering premiums, because collectors know how rare it is to find a flawless survivor from such a heavily circulated year. Another point of fascination is the mint mark. Quarters from Philadelphia in 1985 carried no mint mark, while those struck in Denver show the letter D. Although both types are common in lower grades, certain high-grade specimens or rare varieties from either mint have become highly sought after. Collectors love chasing these subtle details because they add depth and personality to their collections. What makes this coin exciting is the thrill of the hunt. A 1985 quarter might look ordinary at first glance, but the possibility of discovering one with a rare error or exceptional preservation is what drives collectors to check every coin carefully. The idea that a coin worth just 25 cents in your hand could secretly be worth thousands adds a layer of mystery and excitement to the hobby. And now for the moment you've been waiting for, the record value that proves just how special this coin can be. While the vast majority of 1985 quarters are still worth only face value, one remarkable example in pristine condition, with the qualities that collectors dream of, sold for an astounding $72,000. So the next time you come across a quarter from 1985, don't be too quick to spend it. Take a close look, because you might be holding a hidden treasure that could change the way you see your pocket change forever. If you enjoyed this journey into the fascinating world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story of coins worth money. Until next time, happy collecting.